Good morning and welcome to this video tutorial on how to develop your successful new products and services. It's probably the most effective way of growing businesses is to develop new products and services. So I'm really proud to share some hints on how to do this with you when you know that you've downloaded this particular workbook. I'm here today at ActiSense, which is an electronics company in Poole in England, and I'm with Phil Whitehurst, who is the managing director. Welcome, Phil, and thank you for giving up your valuable time.
Okay.
Before we talk about some specific hints on using this particular workbook, which is here, let's just talk about the context of new product development. There's been some spectacular examples of success of both small and large companies, including your own, on this area. But can you think about maybe some British companies that you think have done well from new product development over the last couple of years?
Sure. One that springs to mind would be a company like Dyson, with their cleaner range.
Yeah.
That's a product that's redefined the industrial design aspects of that product.
In thinking about this particular video, I was trying to think of some examples of low-cost, low-risk products. My favourite, going back a few years now, was from a small pet accessory company up in London, and they make all kinds of things. And one of the high-selling lines, you won't believe this one, was what they did. They bought old rope, used rope from boat companies and all the rest of it, and chopped this rope into segments about this long, sealed up the ends, and then sold it to pet owners as a dog chew, as a dog toy. And I think it's really funny because in Britain we have this expression, money for old rope. So no disrespect to that company, but it was money for old rope, but a great little innovative product that did well. I was 70 last week, and for my birthday I had lots of lovely things, but this one amused me now that we've got a nice warm summer in England, which is rare. Let me read that. Phil, can you just read what it says there?
It's a solar powered shower.
I don't know if you can see that for the garden. There's a lady having a shower there. I haven't used it yet, but a great idea of a low cost, low risk product, and is selling really well. Just very briefly, you're an electronics company. You can see the products behind us for the marine industry. How many products have you got that you've created yourself? You're an electronics designer, and your company designs and manufactures them. How many have you got in your portfolio?
Well, we've currently got over 20 different products, and probably about 10 of those are core high-selling products that really contribute to the bottom line.
And you've used a process to develop those.
Yes.
And I know you've got some others that you're planning for this particular market, and I believe you're looking at other markets like the automotive market, using the same process. Shall we have a look at some hints? Unusually today, this is probably one of the thickest, longest workbooks, and I'm going to focus on 4 hints. Okay with you?
Sure. Great.
So if you'd like to turn in your workbook to page 2, it's entitled An Overview of the Fast Growth Innovation Process. And if you can see, it's like a U-turn, if you like, down here, along here, and up here. It's an 11-step process to develop, launch new products. Most people think that innovation and creativity is a sort of light bulb moment. Yes, it is, but it also needs to be systematic, and there's a systematic process. Does that make sense? So, first of all, think of it innovation as a process, and think of it as something you do time and time again. Okay? The second hint is, particularly in relation to this workbook, many ways of driving innovation. One of the best ways is to think about the needs of your target customers. That assumes you know what they are. And think about the means you've got to meet these needs. So that's on page 4.1, Phil. And I'm just going to ask you to read one of the examples. Now, it's for the Boeing aircraft company. It could also be for Airbus or Bombardier, it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. But certainly think about what are the needs of those type of potential clients. Can you just read that, what it says there?
Sure. Here we're identifying the key problems and needs that your target company or customers face, e.g. the Boeing aircraft company. Their customers, i.e. airlines, face high and increasing fuel costs. So one of Boeing's critical problems is to produce lighter, more fuel-efficient aeroplanes. Their need is therefore for good value, safe, lightweight products for their new aircraft.
And we know that Boeing have recently launched the Dreamliner, the 787 I think it's called, made from lightweight composites. So the whole structure is very light, very fuel efficient, and therefore there's a need that any products that they put inside the aircraft need to be very lightweight too. Yes. We're based here in Dorset, which is a rural community, lots of farmers. So the second example is UK farmers. This probably applies to other countries as well, but it certainly applies here in this country with the economic downturn that we've just experienced, which thankfully we're coming out of now. Theft from farms is rapidly increasing. Currently, rural theft is £50 million in the UK. And the problem is that farmers in large isolated situations, which they tend to be, find it difficult and expensive to monitor their equipment. Bear in mind a typical tractor can cost up to £100,000, and their livestock, which are incredibly valuable. So their need, thus the farmers, is for low cost, durable, secure systems that deter thieves from their farms. So thinking about the needs of major customer or customer types, and thinking about the means you've got to satisfy those, and matching that equation is really the mindset of a successful innovator, a successful new product development process. So that's the second hint. Third hint, and it's one I'm really excited about, is on page 5.3 of your workbook. Most of us have heard of brainstorming, where people put their hands up and shout out ideas, and it can be a very wasteful process. This process is brainwriting, in the sense that new product development tends to be best as a group process, a team of people rather than just an individual. And the idea here is, around a table like this, here you might have a production people, some sales people, some designers, even the financial people, and maybe generate some initial ideas to start with, and maybe 10 of them. And then for each of those initial ideas, or opportunities, which would be put here, you then assign somebody with that as the starter. So, for instance, Phil, if it was you might say, I'm going to champion this particular idea. And you'd start this brainwriting process by saying, I see the customer need for this idea as. Always start with the need. You then fill that in and then pass it to the next person around the table. Okay, a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And what he passes his page to you and so forth. And women as well, obviously not all men. Women are very creative. And so yours is then passed to somebody else next door to you, and they say yes, and the idea would also be useful for additive responses. Yeah. And then to somebody else, alternatively, the idea would help too. That's all about needs development. And down here is means development. So it goes to somebody else. We could implement this by, we could also implement this by, alternatively we could. And then back to you, this wonderful expression. Could you just read the last box there?
What I like about this idea is.
And it's possible to say what you like about something to everything, isn't it?
Yes.
We've just been eliminated from the World Cup, the England football team. It's June 2014. What do you like about that?
Well, there's something to learn.
And then all these little ideas, you go back to you and you maybe come up with something that's better. So it's about synthesizing from different people, brainwriting, very powerful. Okay, so that's the third tip. And then the final tip is thinking about assessing and selecting. on page 6.1 is a very simple but very rapid way of looking at the risks to start with of ideas, both the production risk, the sales risk and the servicing risk. And asking yourself questions is like under production risk for a new idea. It might be one of these. There's a new product idea. Can you just read what it says about production risk there, Phil?
Okay. Production risk, i.e. can you produce it? There's three possibilities. One, we could easily produce the proposed new product or service using our existing facilities and technology. Two, we have some doubts that we can produce the product or service using our facilities and technology. Or three, we have serious doubts whether we could produce the new product or service at all.
Thank you very much. So just to summarise, the purpose of this workbook is for you to create and select at least 2 new products and services for your company. And the goal is that within 18 months you successfully launch one of these new products and services to substantially grow your business. It's very important for most companies to do this, whether you're a service or product. Remember Dyson, how successful they've been in this country, and obviously we can all think of plenty of examples around the world of other companies. And the 4 hints, which are part of the workbook, will really help you with that. And whilst I can't give you guarantees, if you follow this process with your team, you will have a rich portfolio of very promising opportunities. Phil, thank you for your time. Good luck with developing your own new products using this kind of approach, not only for ActiSense, but also for the other business I know you're keen to develop.
Thank you.